could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. For a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is the place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball on WOCA The Source. If you missed Southern Pigskin Tonight recently, you missed Urban Meyer talking about what it takes to man up.
You hear the term man up or next man ready, and everyone says that. We've certainly been a part of situations where that hasn't happened, where the next man wasn't ready. Obviously, the credit goes to the player first.
So join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. for Southern Pigskin Tonight, right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
25 minutes now before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. You know, when I was a kid, I'd go to school with a brown paper bag. In that brown paper bag, I had a tuna fish sandwich and maybe, oh gosh, what was that little thing my mother used to put in? Some kind of Hostess cake, which I know.
Ding dong.
A ding dong or something like that. And 3 cents. I remember milk was 3 cents. So
yeah, me too.
That's how long ago it was.
3 cents.
There was a story this morning that said that there was a new study that looked at the diet and health results of 77,000 Americans and found that those who stuck to a vegetarian diet had a 22% lower chance of developing colon and rectal cancers. Those who had a fish and vegetable diet had 43% diminished risk. 43% diminished risk. And it said that vegetarians also, just by being vegetarians, they ate less, not only less meat, well, no meat, but also less sweets, fewer snack foods, fewer refined grains, fewer high-calorie beverages, et cetera, et cetera. The good habits start early, right? So we're going to talk about this. Jodi Grant is the executive director of the After School Alliance, and Aaron Dworkin is the president of the National Network for After School All-Stars. And they're talking about a program called Kids on the Move, after-school programs promoting healthy eating and physical activity. Can't argue with that one. We like to debate, but that's not a debatable one for me. Mm-hmm. Jodi Grant and Aaron Dworkin, good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us on today.
You're welcome. Where are you? Are you together at the same place?
Together in Washington, D.C., and we still have snow on the ground here.
Oh, wow. See, you would like to be here because it's sunny, but I would like to be there because I miss the snow.
Grass is always greener.
So do we? When we have programs like this that are outside the house, does it get sabotaged if the parents aren't really looking at this seriously? Like if the parents stuff the refrigerator full of the bad stuff, the kids are going to come home and sabotage everything that we're trying to do.
So, that's a very good question. And I think one of the reasons we were so excited about this household survey is that we have an epidemic of childhood obesity in America. 1 in every 3 kids is obese. Yeah. And we've known this for a long time. Now we have the data to prove it. After-school programs are part of the solution. because it's a way to get our kids physically active, and it's a way not only to give them nutritious meals, but to educate them about nutrition. And we think that if we can educate our kids at an early age about healthy lifestyles, they bring that home with them too. So yes, it could be sabotage, but what we're seeing is just the opposite. We're seeing kids going home and telling their parents what they learned in their cooking classes, or telling their kids how to alter their diets in a way that's going to be more healthy, not just for that student, but for the entire family.
Yeah, and those are habits that'll last all of their lives, and then they will pass it on to their children. So, and maybe it'll even back up. Maybe the parents will start to see, oh, wow, this is the way we should be living too.
Yeah, 100%. You know, Larry, my program, After School All-Stars, is a national organization that runs free after-school programs in schools across the country, but in the Orlando area, we're very large. And we have our health and fitness and nutrition classes, and we have so many stories of parents calling us up saying, hey, what is this kale thing you were teaching my kids about that he wants me now to buy in the market? I never heard of that, but so as you were kind of alluding to, you know, it has a model where the kids that we invest in and educate are able to educate their whole family and change the diets for all their siblings and everyone around them.
Yeah.
And we've seen examples too where some of the physical activity that's available to the kids, the after-school programs will do it at the very end of the day so parents can join in, because many of our parents may not be able to afford a gym class, but if they can come do Zumba with their kid, it's a great way to bond, to learn more about their programs and to become physically fit.
Well, we had this whole video game revolution that really made everybody more sedentary than ever before, because instead of going outside and shooting hoops, we were inside shooting virtual hoops.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's one of the concerns, you know, when you look at overall physical activity and also the value of after school, you know, what we know is that when kids aren't in school, they're learning. And they could be learning very productive things in an after-school program, or they can be learning less productive things, and more likely, you know, they're sitting in front of a screen somewhere. So in after-school programs, we can get kids away from the screens and get them active and interacting. I think, you know, our challenge in after-school is there's just not enough programs for everyone. So this household survey that we did, you know, there's more than 1 million kids in Florida that would like to be in programs, but they're not available, not affordable, or in many cases, both.
Yeah. Do you know what I've often thought? Maybe you can just, I know we don't have much time, but I've often thought this. There's a lot of times, let's say you live near the elementary school in your community. And now when your kids are in elementary school, there's an after school program at the elementary school, and they go back to the school and they have fun. Now they move on to middle school or junior high, whatever it's called in your area, and then on to high school even. And the high school, the junior high are farther away, especially maybe the junior high because they don't drive yet. And there's no after-school program for the kids there. I've often thought that the closer school should be an after-school program location for all ages.
Yeah, and you know, like that's exactly our niche. After School All-Stars focuses on middle school students because it is exactly what you described, the most underserved population. Yet the students are big enough to walk home by themselves. They're obviously old and big enough to get themselves into trouble. And middle school is underserved age where there aren't a lot of activities offered to them. Like you'll find lots of clubs and teams to get involved with in high school, a lot of programs offered to elementary school kids. And right when our kids are trying to figure out who they are and make choices about their own identity and future, that's when adults tend to leave them alone. And you can talk to a lot of police chiefs who will say that's when crime spikes between 3 and 6. So targeting middle school kids with these activities that keep them moving and keep them active. And it just shows them also that there's a lot of data to prove that kids who are active combined with some academic support do better academically than if they were just getting academic tutoring up by themselves.
And Larry, the programs have to be school-based, so many of our programs are, but one of the things we try to do in after school is really target programs in communities. So it could be a school, it could be a rec center, it could be several cities have campuses where there's different activities in different locations, so particularly for the older kids, so it's possible to find programming that's closer to home.
But the parents really should step up to the plate, because since day one, I mean, I would put my children in a stroller, and when I would come home from work, I'd stroll them around the neighborhood and things, and as they grew, they had a bicycle, and then we would bicycle around the neighborhood, and then on the weekends, we would go somewhere and go swimming, or just go have a lunch in the park and things like that. So they're both in their 30s now, and they're married, and They love to play video games, but they also love to be out and do something fun with their friends.
And I think that's right. I think in many cases, parents, when we did this survey, we know that nationwide, 67% of parents, when they're looking for an after-school program, they're specifically looking for one with physical activity. But the reality is, during the week, it's hard for a lot of parents to do that. They can do it on the weekends, and so we want parents to prioritize looking for programs where their kids can be doing this during the week as well as on the weekends. And we know from our survey that this is a priority. And for the parents where it's not, we're hoping our programs can help the kids educate their parents so that they can change those lifestyles and incorporate it into their day-to-day activities.
I mentioned in the beginning that this is really not a debatable topic. However, there might be debate about the money that it costs to put on these programs. Is there an answer to the question, how much does this cost, and how do we find out more information so that the parents listening, maybe even the school board, if they want to know more about this, if we don't have a program like this in our community, how do we answer all those questions?
So, and the easy answer to that is, there's definitely an equity issue going on here. For parents that can afford after-school programs, enrichment, they pay for it. Right. Over 76% of all the dollars going into this are parents. And for many low-income parents, they're finding whatever money they can to pay towards it, but it's often not enough. So we are fortunate that we have programs like the All-Stars, who are publicly and or privately, and in many cases both, funded to provide programming to kids that can't afford it. And I think across the board, when we look at the fact that a staggering 11 million kids are unsupervised today when that school bell rings, we need to do more at every level. So local, state, federal, public dollars, private dollars, philanthropy, to make sure that all of our kids have access to the vast resources that after school can provide.
Yeah, I love what you're both doing. Hope this doesn't sound corny, but I really think you're making the world a better place, even though you may never get that thank you note in the mail. But I really think that this does contribute wonderfully. So is there a website we can leave the listeners with?
Absolutely, there's two. So for more information on the survey, www.afterschoolalliance.org.
Yep, and you can go to www.afterschoolallstars.org, and you can definitely learn a lot more about what kind of programs we're doing in the Orlando area.
Okay, After School All-Stars and After School Alliance, and both of them are .org, so Robin will put them both on Facebook so that everybody can find them easily. Jodi Grant, Aaron Dworkin, thank you both for what you're doing, and stay warm. The snow's going to melt soon, don't worry. It'll be gone. Or you can come to Florida.
We'll do it.
All right, thank you to both of you. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Do your inhale and exhale for a count of 5. Repeat that a few times, and you'll feel the stress relief immediately. If you've ever wondered if the woman in your life is a mind reader, well, she is. It's not because she has supernatural powers. It's because women are a lot more intuitive than men, much better than us. If you like raw fish, get an order of sashimi. You get a good dose of protein for 1/3 the calories of a specialty roll.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers,